Hello and welcome to the second round of the new look HSBC UK National Men's Road Series. We're here in Lincoln today for what is one of the most anticipated races of the season. Round one got off to a stunning start with brilliant race action and gave us that opportunity to see the new team formations against each other for the first time. At the Klondike Grand Prix, it was Rory Townsend who took the win from a three-rider breakaway.
Look at the speed of Rory Townsend. Townsend makes his way to the line. It's going to be the first win for Canyon DHB Blorholmes. That was a great sprint.
After that stunning win in Gisborough, this is how the series standings look. Leading the way is Rory Townsend on 30 points, followed in second by Scott Thwaites with 28. Connor Swift sits third with 26, and in fourth it's Gabs Calaig with 24 points. This year's HSBC UK National Road Series is made up of 10 races across the country. At each round there are 30 points up for grabs for the winner. The rider with the most points at the end of the series wins the crown, and it's as simple as that. Not only are they racing for the series, 6 teams are also competing for selection for the OVO Energy Tour of Britain. Points can be earned from most major domestic road and circuit races, including the first 9 races of this series, with the last chance of earning points being the 3-day race on the Isle of Man. Points are awarded based on a team's highest overall finisher, and with only 4 spots available, competition will be tough. Since the Klondike Grand Prix, the top British teams raced in both the Sickle Classic and the Tour de Yorkshire. Here are the standings in the race to ride the OVO Energy Tour of Britain. So it's Canyon DHB powered by Blorholmes that currently sit at the top of those standings with 18 points. In second there, it's Swift Carbon Pro Cycling sitting with 16, and then following that, it's Team Wiggins-LeColle Vitus Pro Cycling powered by Brother UK and Madison Genesis that all sit on 14 points. In sixth there, it's Ribble Pro Cycling with 6 points. The cathedral city of Lincoln in the East Midlands is a bustling, vibrant city which is steeped in history and has been home to the Chestnut Homes Lincoln Grand Prix since 1956, one of the longest running races in the British cycling calendar, with this year's race being the 64th edition. With its magnificent historical sites such as the medieval cathedral, 11th century Norman castle and historic Roman gate alongside one of the country's top universities, it's no wonder it attracts over 4 million visitors a year, with cyclists in particular coming from all over to tackle the iconic cobbled climb of Michaelgate. This hill always proves influential to the racing, not least on the race's 60th edition, where Lincoln played host to the 2015 National Championships, attracting over 30,000 people into its gates to cheer on Lizzie Armitstead and Pete Kenyuk to their victories.
It's quite a tough one, so you can only sort of get marked so much, and then towards the end it sort of ends up similar lads.
We've gone through the plan this morning. I think we've got a fairly firm idea of what we'd like to do. But we can't be complacent, even though on paper it looks like we've got the right team.
Tom is probably one of our main players here today. Personally, I think it's suited to him. There is an element of luck in this race, but ultimately it's about being in the right place at the right time.
If it comes down to a bunch finish like it has done sometimes in the past, then positioning is very important. And apart from that, it's good for attacking and things like that. So it's quite a course where a lot of people can do well.
I think it's always nice to start off with somebody in the move that goes early, takes the pressure off the guys behind a little bit, and then when it comes down to the last few laps, I think the game plan will change from there.
The Tour of Britain qualification seems to rule the races now, I think. You always have to keep an eye on, I guess, who's in front of you, but at the same time the race is a race, and you know, if the higher up you finish, the better it's going to be for the team anyways.
This course is probably the best known race circuit in British bike racing. The peloton faces 13 laps of a gruelling course. The race starts in Castle Square, heading out of Lincoln to Burton Village. The riders face a fast descent here before heading back through narrow, twisting roads to Saxelby Road. If it's windy, this is always tough. They then race back towards Lincoln on Longleys Road before the fearsome 1 in 5 climb of Michaelgate to be covered on each of the 13 laps. It's brutal. In 2018, it was solo rider Alex Richardson who surprised everyone and crossed that line first.
The line, he turns the final right-hander, and it's a win for Alex Richardson.
Let's hear from last year's winner on his hopes for today.
I'm in a lot better condition than I was this time last year at this race. The chances are it will be very different.
Time now to find out how things play out on the roads here in Lincoln in the company of our commentators. Let's join them now.
The peloton rolling out of Lincoln from the top of Michael Gate on this cobble climb on the right-hand side. Rory Townsend, the leader of the series overall. And this peloton is huge today, Magnus. So many riders, 150 starters in this peloton.
Yeah, and that can definitely be a bit of a problem. We'll be very, very nervous in the start of this, just to keep position to the steep descent that we have very early on in this race.
Well, this peloton just forming up, and as they went over the top of Michael Gate, flat, and then they go down this fast descent. Lovely weather conditions. Oh, big crash on the right-hand side. Loads of riders coming down.
Ian Bibby, I think he was just doing a bit of cyclocross skills. They're going up over the grass to avoid hitting that crash.
Ian Bibby is a very good cyclocross rider, so he's certainly using his talents to very good effect. Immediate reaction at the front, and here at the back, it looks like a number of riders still trying to get themselves organised and back into the race.
I think that's Alex Payton there from Canyon Iceberg.
Yeah, he's getting himself back on his bike. Onto the cobbles then for the first time. And it looks like the pace is really hot.
Yeah, you can see the riders using the slightly smoother sort of drain on the side of the road to try and ride up there and avoid the cobblestones, which is faster but also can cause some problems.
Well, more problems for riders as they are held up at the back. And it used to be that you could ride on the pavement on the side of the road, but a few years ago that was deemed a disqualification. So now riders have to ride the cobbles.
Yeah, they do, and sometimes it's actually easy to just stay on the cobbles and get the rhythm on the cobblestones and ride it all the way up there. I think that's just spotted Russell Downing there in the red helmet in the second wheel going up Michael's Gate the first time.
Well, he looks good. Russell Downing, winner of this race first of all in 2005 and 4 times winner.
He's been around for a long time and certainly got some impressive palmares, hasn't he?
He has. He rode for Team Sky. He's had a great career. He's coming to the end of it now. Gave Team Sky their first ever win. Now we've got an attack at the front, and it's Ribble Pro Cycling, Canyon DHB, Bloor Homes, also Vitus in the red, and one rider trying to come across.
Yeah, that looks like Tanfield.
It is Tanfield who's in here, Charlie Tanfield, World Team Pursuit Champion, Commonwealth Games Individual Pursuit Champion. And as we go through the feed, these 4 riders have 28 seconds.
Yeah, and they're going through this really quite difficult patch where you've got the feed stations. It's a longer drag up to the junction, and then you dip down into through town, and then start the climb of Michael Gate.
These riders working well. McGlinchey in the red, and last week at the Tour de Yorkshire, as we can see, one rider just getting and asking for a little bit more space. That was Isaac Mundy of Swift Carbon Pro Cycling. McGlinchey is in this group. He rode really well in the Tour de Yorkshire.
Yeah, it certainly did. And it's great to see that so many of the British teams really, when they get the opportunity to ride the bigger races, they're going out there and they're showing what they're worth, and really challenging as well. So
this race coming together, an advance party from the peloton racing their way across to our 4 leaders, and there's some interesting names in here, including Tom Pidcock.
Yeah, good to see Pidcock really starting to find his road legs as well this season, and after a long cyclocross season, and he's certainly a man to be reckoned with here on this particular climb.
We'll see how he does. 9 laps to go. Pidcock on the front of the group right now, just trying to turn the pace up a little bit. He, of course, is the world under-23 cyclocross champion. Looking for a little bit of food. And there goes Rory Townsend. He was the winner of the last round, ahead of Scott Thwaites in second place and Connor Swift in third. 3 riders just trying to go clear now off this group. It's a little bit unworkmanlike. This is Hennessy. And on the front is number 17, John Archibald. Tucked in on the wheel is another of the Vitus riders. This is Group 2 on the road, and Tom Stewart is wearing number 4, trying to go across.
This looks like Richardson. and O'Loughlin as well. So this is Group 3 on the road then.
Group 3 trying to get across now. This would make 7 riders at the front.
Yeah, and interesting that Canyon Iceberg have really gone in with this and got numbers now to play with as well. So they're sitting in a very, very strong position. Be interesting to see if there's a counter from any of the other teams now, because that's a very dangerous move.
It is, because Canyon DHB are leading the standings as far as qualification of the Tour of Britain is concerned as well, as we see Michael O'Loughlin in the red, followed by Alex Richardson. Richardson, the surprise winner of the Lincoln Grand Prix solo last season.
Well, it was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it? But he's certainly shown this year that it wasn't just a meteor that landed on Earth. You know, he's backed it up with some very, very impressive results, and moved into to the Canyon DHB team this year, and is doing very well indeed.
Onto the climb, and on the right hand side, John Archibald not finding this easy, and neither is number 37 there, and that's O'Loughlin, having made his way across. Now is going backwards.
It's always difficult when you're making that bridge on the flat and you're putting so much effort into it, and then you're coming into a difficult climb like Michael's Gate, and then having to go up on the cobblestones as well. It really leaves a good dent in your legs.
One appreciative crowd on this climb. They know all about this race, and we'll see who is now at the front as we go over the top. Archibald just hanging on, McGlinchey just in front of him. Tom Stewart, I think, is in this group. So is Jacob Hennessy. And this could be 3 riders from Canyon in the group.
We're predominantly a development team, mainly sort of under 23 years of age. The philosophy of the team really is to prepare the riders for the next stage of their career. For those who watched Tour of Yorkshire last week, you know, we had the winner, Chris Lawless, come through our ranks.
If I need anything, like, to help me, if I'm having any problems, they just advise me what I can do.
There's a right bunch of riders coming through now, which is showing a lot of promise, a lot of talent, and you know what they're doing in races and stuff. They're really competing at the highest level. So yeah, it's great to see, and it's great to help them along the way as well. You know, if I can sort of pass on any advice and take a bit of advice from them as well a lot of the time.
It's really great having older riders on the teams, like acting as mentors to us.
Everyone wants to be competitive at every race, but also learn along the way as well.
Onto Michael Gate, and this group is starting to look quite dangerous. Canyon DHB have put so many riders in here. This is very, very impressive from them.
It is. They got loads of different options to play here now on this course, and when you got numbers, you can start attacking from all sorts of different directions. And they got the last year's winner, Alex Richardson, up here as well, and he knows exactly how to win this bike race. So he no doubt will share some of the information with his teammates and try and set this up. But it's a strong group behind as well.
4 laps to go, 48 seconds is the advantage for these riders, and the peloton, still a lot of riders in here, so there'll be a few riders just taking it nice and easy and waiting until the important point. Scott Thwaites now coming across, and on his wheel Matt Holmes, who is sitting very high up now in this series.
That's a dangerous duo as well. Scott Thwaites riding really well at the Tour de Yorkshire, being up there contesting for stage wins.
Scott Thwaites, yep, he's a rider who rode the World Tour, and he's now back riding for this Fighters team. Back onto Michael Gate, and it's still John Archibald hanging on the back. In front of him is McGlinchey, who's doing another strong ride in this race. But it looks like things are coming back together a little bit. Another couple of riders. It's been constant, Magnus, today, of just groups of 2 coming across.
Yeah, he has, and this course kind of lends itself to that type of riding as well. If you got the legs, then you can make a lot of time up on the climb itself, and then just try and get across over the top.
Big group of riders now at the front, and things are closing up yet again. So we're going to end up with a massive group of riders as the lead group, and in this group is Rory Townsend, the series leader. Very, very fast pace now.
Yeah, very high pace indeed, and Russell Downing making it into that group as well.
as we go across, and there are two riders attacking, and Richardson is doing it again. He's gone clear and he's with Archibald. Now another two riders coming across. 19 seconds as Tom Pidcock goes across to the leaders, making 4 with Hayter. So it is Archibald with Richardson, with Hayter and Pidcock on the back.
Yeah, strong ride by Hayter, as well as an under 23 rider getting into this group at this late stage in the race.
Richardson with that familiar style. He just sits, time trial motion, spins the gear over, looks very, very easy indeed. 21 seconds now as Hayter looks across at him, and Pidcock, they're all just relaxing.
Well, I wouldn't say relaxing really, but they certainly look like it. They're travelling at some speed here, and good little group to work with. Everyone looks committed here.
They do look committed in the aero tuck, trying to get as aerodynamic as possible. There's always a little bit of worry about riders resting their forearms, but the peloton refusing to let this happen. And as we can see, as we go towards the feed, this race is coming back together. A big attack from Richardson on the right in blue.
Yeah, interesting time to go there as well, just as they're getting caught by this bigger group. He must really feel that he's got the legs today.
He's certainly looking strong, and he did this last year, so the peloton will not want to let this guy go because he can time trial, and there is no doubt that if he gets a gap, then he could be staying away to the finish. We're in number 1 as defending champion. Back onto Michael Gate again.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if there's any other riders coming across here now trying to bridge this gap. It is a dangerous move by Richardson, so I'm sure that there'll be a few riders paying very close attention. Looks like Scott Thwaites on the right-hand side there.
Well, very few people have doubled up, but Richardson's now caught, and on the right-hand side, you're right, Magnus, this is Scott Thwaites. Thwaites now trying to go clear to take this victory.
And straight away, it looks like there's another Canyon DHB rider on the wheels there.
They've literally marked everything today. They have been absolutely superb.
But that's the key, when you've got a team that's working good, that has got belief in itself. You never miss a move, and you never end up on the back foot then as well, which is great.
Thwaites then making his way towards the completion of this lap on the front in the red jersey, and he's going to make his way across the line. The bell goes, 1 lap of racing to go, and still many, many riders in with a chance.
Yeah, there's a big group here now, and coming into towards the final, this is going to be so key. The final 50 meters comes after that corner, so you have to actually make the sprint before the final 2 turns if you want to win this. So very different setup to what you normally would see in a sprint finish.
Another big attack at the front. Looks a little bit like Pidcock trying to go clear yet again, or is it? No,
I don't think it was Pidcock.
That's a big, big move from Wiggins. What an attack as one rider goes clear, and the rider trying to go with him comes to an absolute standstill.
This is key now for Canyon DHB. If they want to win this, they need to get on the front and start bringing this rider back.
Well, this is a big, big move at the front from Wiggins. Behind them, Canyon DHB lining up to try and bring this race back together. This could be just a bit of a warm-up before the real power climb to the finish.
Well, warm-up, I think, at this point in the race. It's going to be some very sore legs turning into the bottom here.
We move on and find out that this rider is Michael O'Loughlin yet again.
Wow.
So O'Loughlin trying to now go clear. This is a big move by him, but we know that Michael Gate really is not his terrain.
No, it isn't. We saw that earlier. It was in that breakaway and then just couldn't quite keep up the pace.
Heading in now towards the base of Michael Gate. It's a real fight for these bottom corners. Leading into the climb, it's Ribble Pro Cycling. Behind them, Pidcock looks good. Here goes Tom Pidcock.
Pidcock goes in the gutter here. This is typically his type of terrain.
Immediately going with him is Tom Stewart, the winner of this race in 2016. It looks like Andy Tennant is also up there for Canyon DHB. Pidcock going for the power climb to try and take the win, and he's really putting these Canyon riders in difficulty.
He needs to have a little bit left here now as they turn around his left-hand corner. This is where you need to kick. It gets a little bit steeper, and you definitely have to have the legs here.
Here we go. Who's going to take it? Pidcock looks good. Stewart now comes back on terms. Stewart now managing manages to get the kick on Tom Pidcock. Well, this rider's won before. Stewart now is going for the line. Is he going to take this victory? Pidcock has now been beaten. Tom Stewart into the finish line. He's going to take his second Lincoln Grand Prix. Tom Stewart wins, Pidcock second. Third place looks like Andy Tennant. And that was some climb. Matt Holmes comes in fourth.
Tell you what, it was a very impressive move by Tom Pidcock, but he didn't quite have the legs for the final 200 metres of that climb. But again, a very impressive ride by Canyon DHB.
Superb racing. An emotional Tom Stewart takes the Lincoln Grand Prix, his second win in this race. Pidcock in second, Tennant in third, and Matt Holmes should move into the lead in fourth place.
Oh, it means the world. It's just, there's no denying it. I want to win this race, and I want to keep winning it. Like it's the best racing to me. You know, I've been coming to watch it every year since I was about 15, and yeah, to be honest, the last time I won, I was so proud of the win, but I wanted to just have enough of a gap to celebrate. Last time I didn't know what was happening, and I managed to get my hands in there this time. So
you certainly did, but nobody made that easy today, did they?
No, it was a strange race. I've been training with Russ and Dean for many years, and they've both given me a lot of secret tips about Lincoln. You know, they both know how to win it, and you know, the Downing brothers are the best mentors for this race, and I do know kind of what to do a little bit here, and it's just you get to 3 or 4 to go and you feel horrendous, but you know, so does everyone else. So.
Well, after that result, it's all changed in the overall classification. It's now Matt Holmes of Madison Genesis who tops the standings with 46 points. Well, after 2 rounds of racing, the overall team classification looks like this. And here's how the Tour of Britain qualification standings look after this round.
Well, what a fantastic day it's been here in Lincoln with that stunning victory, going yet again to an emotional and very delighted Tom Stewart here on these cobbles at the top of Michael Gate. The next round of racing takes place on the 9th of June, so why not join us on the roadside? It takes place in the form of the new Lancaster Grand Prix, and in the meantime you can keep up to date with everything you need to know from the world of cycling and about the race series over on britishcycling.org.uk, and follow that hashtag National Road Series. From all of us here in Lincoln, bye-bye for now.